It's time for Kemmerer Lady Rangers Volleyball. The 2013 2A state champions are back and ready to defend their title. Listen and watch live to Lady Rangers Volleyball right here on mylocalradio.net all season long. Presented to you by Monsanto, Old West Design, Western Wyoming Community College, and Old West Media, Inc. Now, let's send it out to the voice of the Kemmerer Lady Rangers, Adam Jacksa, as KHS Volleyball starts right now.
It is indeed time for more Lady Rangers Volleyball. Welcome in on the Lady Rangers pregame show. I am Adam Jacksa alongside my cameraman Warren Cook as we're ready for match 3 for your Kemmerer Lady Rangers. So far, they're 500 on the day. They won their first match, taking down Matitsi in 3 sets. And then they got swept in their second match, took on a tough 3A school in Lovell. The host team of this tournament, Lovell, was able to beat them 25-13 in straight sets. And now they will take on the GREYBULL Lady Buffs as they try and move to 2-1 on the day, and of course increase their seeding for tomorrow. Again, this is all pool play tomorrow, and if they can finish second, they would play the third place team in Pool B. But of course, we gotta figure everybody out and see where everybody's at the end of the day. This will be the final match of the day, this 8 o'clock spot. GREYBULL playing Kemmerer, and then over on court 2, Rocky Mountain playing Wind River. Those are the final 2 matches to finish up this Friday night, and we certainly appreciate you joining us. You're listening and watching live on mylocalradio.net. We'll be here for this final match, of course, and then all 3 tomorrow as we're here all weekend long. Made the trip up from Evanston, and the Kemmerer Rangers made the trip, of course, up from Kemmerer, about a 6-hour drive. So we're going to talk about the couple of matches that the Rangers have played coming up on the Lady Rangers pregame show. We're also, if you haven't caught the first 2 matches, I sat down with head coach Blake Peterson earlier in the week, and I'll play that interview coming up in the pregame as well. And then we'll have first serve as the final match of the night between your Kemmerer Lady Rangers and the GREYBULL Lady Buffs. That's all coming up next, so stay right with us. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball right here on mylocalradio.net.
First impressions matter. When you want to stand out, uniquely brand your business, organization, or team with help from Old West Design inside My Favorite Things at 164 Front Street. Create a professional image with uniforms, golf shirts, t-shirts, hoodies, decals, keychains, koozies, coffee mugs, and more. Manager Natalie Willie Lively and Old West Design help winners dress for success. Inside My Favorite Things, Old West Design, 164 Front Street, Evanston.
Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for quality, affordable higher education in southwestern Wyoming and the Rocky Mountain West. Western offers more than 60 associate's degrees and 26 certificate programs in business, health science, humanities, math, engineering and science, visual and performing arts, and technology and industry. Wherever you are and whatever your goal, Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for education that makes a difference. Because we are where you are.
And we are back live at the North Bighorn County Volleyball Tournament at Lovell Varsity High School. We're inside Johnny Winterholler Gymnasium, where the Kemmerer Lady Rangers are getting set to take on their third and final opponent of this Friday night. They're taking on the GREYBULL Lady Buffs. The Buffs, as you can see, warming up in front of us, and then also on the opposing side, your Kemmerer Lady Rangers getting warmed up as well, as we're about 10 minutes away from first serve. Lady Rangers, again, in that first match, they took down Matitsi. That's, of course, Coach Peterson's former school. He used to coach there for 2 years before he came to Kemmerer, so a little bit of history there. They were able to take on 1A Matitsi, and they lost the opening set, 25-21, but then came back, won 25-20, and then 15-6. They then played 2 hours later and took on Lovell, and so far Lovell has definitely looked like the strongest team, certainly the strongest team that Kemmerer has faced, and the 3A school, the host site, they were able to take down Kemmerer 25-13 in 2 games as the Lady Rangers dropped that match. So they're looking to bounce back and go to 2-1 on tonight's matches before they come back and play 3 tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do. GREYBULL, meanwhile, they're in the same situation as Kemmerer. They lost to Lovell and also beat Matitsi. So these 2 teams right here, GREYBULL and Kemmerer, fighting for that second spot in tomorrow's seedings, and we'll see who's able to get it. Again, there's a Pool A and a Pool B. Kemmerer, Lovell, Matitsi, and GREYBULL in Pool A, and then Cody, Burlington, Rocky Mountain, and Wind River, the 4 in Pool B. And of course, you'll be seated within the top 4, and it'll be Kemmerer and GREYBULL that'll either be seated 2nd or 3rd. And we'll have to figure that out after this match that's coming up for you in shortly under 10 minutes. But before we get to the match, let's hear one more time from head coach Blake Peterson. That interview is coming up next as we get you set for this final game of this Friday night between your Kemmerer Lady Rangers and the GREYBULL Lady Buffs.
Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for quality, affordable higher education in southwestern Wyoming and the Rocky Mountain West. Western offers more than 60 associate's degrees and 26 certificate programs in business, health science, humanities, math, engineering and science, visual and performing arts, and technology and industry. Wherever you are and whatever your goal, Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for education that makes a difference, because we are where you are.
Joining me for today's Coach's Corner is the head coach of the Kemmerer volleyball team, and that is Blake Peterson. And Coach, I'm sure a very busy 2 weeks for you. Tryouts, practice now. Take me through these last couple of weeks.
Well, here at Kemmerer, we don't really have tryouts. Whoever's here is here. Then once they're here, we divide them up into varsity, JV, or C team. But it's been pretty busy, like you said. Last week we had. We didn't really have 2 days. Normally we do, where we have morning practice in the morning and then one in the evening. But this time we just condensed them all in the evening. So we've been having like 4-hour practices in the evening, and we've got some good things done. Some of the freshman girls coming in, some of the newer girls, it's new to a lot of them, and for some of the older girls, it's been a really good review for them.
You talked about the freshmen, and I know we talked before about how you've got kind of a young team coming back. How have the freshmen started to adjust to your practices?
Well, it's a learning curve for all of them. You know, some of them they adjust quicker than others. Some of them were able to participate in some of our summer work or our spring volleyball, the different things we did there. So some of them it's a little bit of a shorter learning curve, but I mean for all of them, they see now that it's not middle school volleyball anymore. It's high school.
And with the freshmen, you've also got some veterans. Have they started to kind of take a leadership role, or is it still too early in the season for that to kind of develop?
A little bit of both. I mean, you can definitely see some girls stepping up a little bit, and that's great. You know, we lost some, like I said before, some good seniors from last year. We lost 5 seniors from last year. We lost another couple girls who moved away. So there are some girls who are stepping up, and so far I've honestly been pleased with what I've seen. There's been some growing pains, but I'm excited to see what the team as a whole can do come this weekend.
We're talking with the head volleyball coach here at Kemmerer High School, Blake Peterson, and big tournament this weekend, the North Bighorn County Tournament. That's up in Lovell. It's going to be this Friday and this Saturday. What are you doing in practice this week to get the team prepared for that tournament?
Well, we're going over a lot of our offensive options, our rotations this week. Start getting the girls kind of familiar with what they'll be playing, you know, when it comes game time. We'll be going over our some of our defensive positions, rotations as well. But overall, we're just going to get them set with that, and then start playing, you know, up the intensity as much as we can, and go from there. Try to give them some game-like situations.
Tell me, what are some of your expectations for this weekend's tournament?
My only expectation, honestly, right now is for us to go and compete. Win or lose, I want to see our girls compete and compete hard. I think if they do that, good things will happen. But I'm just interested or concerned that they compete hard and give their best effort.
Is this kind of normal to only get 2 weeks to prep before your first tournament or your first match, or is this a little bit more challenging only having 2 weeks to prep for that first tournament?
Well, ever since I've been here, this is how it's been. You know, this will be my 5th year, and every year we've had a tournament 2 weeks in, so it's par for the course for us.
And final question for you, any goals that you would like to take out of this weekend? You know, come Sunday morning, what is something that you hope this team has accomplished or this team has done?
I hope after this tournament this week, I hope our girls have a better sense of what they can accomplish. Right now, I think I don't know. I don't know if they realize what potential they have or how far they can go this year, because I still think they can be a pretty special team. And I hope that after this weekend, they have a better sense of that as well.
Coach, we're going to be able to catch the girls play 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 8 o'clock on Friday, and then pool play on Saturday. How do you go into that approach of the weekend? You know, do you take it match by match, or is there any kind of strategy toward, you know, hey, we got to play Friday, and then we're going to come back and play Saturday? What's your approach?
Well, our approach is get them good conditioning now, so that when it comes time to play, they're ready. It's one match at a time. Pretty
simple as that. All right, Blake Peterson, head coach here for KEMMERER Volleyball. Thank you so much, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Adam.
That was the KEMMERER Lady Ranger head coach, Blake Peterson, as he's discussed the upcoming weeks leading up to this North Bighorn County Volleyball Tournament to start the year, and the games that the Rangers have already played. They played earlier today, and of course, 1-1. They defeated Matitsi, his former school, and then they also played Lovell. They unfortunately lost that match as they were dropped in 2 games, but they've got an opportunity to have some revenge and come back and hopefully win their 3rd match and final match of the day as they take on the GREYBULL Lady Buffs. And that's coming up next for you right here on mylocalradio.net. But before we take our final break and come back for the first serve, we'd like to give a shout out to Horseshoe Bend Motel, Joe and Joanne Anderson, over on 375 East Main Street right here in downtown Lovell. The phone number there is 800-548-2850, and you know, they're just very friendly over there. They also allow you to have pets. They're non-smoking, and they've got a beautiful gazebo right out front. If you haven't seen it, you should go over, check it out. You know, they've got a nice shaded area with how hot it's been in the summer. It's a really nice location right downtown. And then, of course, you know, if you need a night to stay, check out the Horseshoe Bend Motel. It's a good stay and certainly has been around for a long time for a reason. And that's Joe and Joanne Anderson. Again, the number to call to make reservations to stay there, 800-548-2850 at the Horseshoe Bend Motel, right on Main Street, 375 East Main. We're going to take a final break, and when we come back, we should have volleyball upcoming for you. The final match of the night for the KEMMERER Lady Rangers. They look to go in 2-1 and get the 2nd seed out of Group A to go into tomorrow's 3 games. We'll see what they can do against the Lady Buffs. That's coming up next right here live at Varsity Lovell High School in Johnny Winterholler Gymnasium. You're listening to KEMMERER Volleyball on mylocalradio.net.
First impressions matter. When you want to stand out, uniquely brand your business, organization, or team with help from Old West Design inside My Favorite Things at 164 Front Street. Create a professional image with uniforms, golf shirts, t-shirts, hoodies, decals, keychains, koozies, coffee mugs, and more. Manager Natalie Willie Lively and Old West Design help winners dress for success. Inside My Favorite Things, Old West Design, 164 Front Street, Evanston.
Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for quality, affordable higher education in southwestern Wyoming and the Rocky Mountain West. Western offers more than 60 associate's degrees and 26 certificate programs in business, health science, humanities, math, engineering and science, visual and performing arts, and technology and industry. Wherever you are and whatever your goal, Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for education that makes a difference, because we are where you are.
And we are back and ready for live action. The final match of the night between the Lady Rangers and the Lady Buffs. And it's coming to you here at Lovell Varsity High School, as the Lady Rangers hoping to win their 2nd match of the day. They are 1-1. They come out, of course, just as they have all afternoon and evening long in the black tops with the red up and down the sides. Lady Rangers written across their backs. They've got the black numbers both in front and back as well. As for the Lady Buffs, they're going to come out in the dark blue uniforms, white sleeves. They've got the gold numbering and their libero wearing all white. And they are set to get this one going. Brett Stevens will serve it over. And we are underway in the final match of the night for the Lady Rangers. Sent across. Libero there. That's Afton DeRosa. It's hit across. And it is a point. Still waiting on the call. And it looks like it's going to be a point for the Lady Rangers. So it took a little while, but that shot was a little bit too far out. And it's 1-0 in favor of Kemmerer. Shot is over, and it's an ace. Nice serve from Morgan McLaren, the junior for the Lady Rangers, and they're quickly ahead, 2-0. Morgan McLaren back all the way to the bleachers. She'll run up and jump this one over. Popped up in the air by Fink, and popped up partially blocked as it was knocked over by Dowling. And that's a point for the Buffs. And we're tied at 1. Check that, 2-1, I'm sorry. Lady Rangers leading 2-1. Dasha Kelso sends it over, and it's knocked around, and it goes off the Lady Rangers last. So that means we're tied 2-2. Stephanie Birch has joined the bench over there for the Lady Rangers, the second-year coach. She played 4 years at Weber State. She's helping out Coach Peterson. He gives her a ton of credit as there's a huge kill, and it goes off the shoulder of Dasha Kelso and out of bounds. What a shot right there for the Rangers, and they're back in front, 3-2. So back to get this one started is Hannah Nielsen. Nielsen runs up and jumps it over the net. Dasha Kelso there, put up in the air by Stevens, and then sent across by Fink. And it's a point for the Rangers. Rangers up on the scoreboard to your left, leading 4-2. Running up again. Nielsen played in the back. Nice job. Stevens sets it up, and then it goes cross court. It goes off the arms of Lexi Julian. She just couldn't quite handle it on that far sideline. So a point for the Gray Buffs. The GREYBULL Lady Buffs with that third point. They trail 4-3. Here's the serve. Down is Brunsky to get it. It's sent up right in the middle for Gregory. Goes to the back row. It's going to be tough for the Lady Buffs to get it over, but they do. Terrific play by Fink to get it across. Now Kemmerer sets it up. Right down the middle. Tapped around. It stays up in the air. And again, batted across, but it goes too far, and the Lady Rangers get the point. But really good effort right there from the Lady Buffs as they took a while to get that across. They had to do some digging in the back and just sent it too far. Good point, though, for the Rangers. They lead 5-3. Running up with it as Kelly serves. Now it's set up. Kelly, she'll dig in the back. Set up and just sent over by Morgan McLaren, and it drops in. Looked like a mistake. Miscommunication, perhaps, by the Lady Buffs, and another point for the Rangers. They lead 6-3 early. Roxana Kelly will bring it up. She shoots it over with her left hand, but she can't quite get it over the net. And the serve stays low. So that's a point for the Lady Buffs, and it's 6-4. A couple of substitutions. Jessica Dowling going out for Shea Durfee, who comes back to put this ball in play. Durfee lines it up and sends it just below the top of the net. So a point for the Lady Rangers once again, and the score 7-4 in favor of Kemmerer. One of the best servers on the team, Michaela Krall, back and ready. She'll run up, and it just misses long. A really good eye in the back by Afton DeRosa to let that go. And a quick pace to this first game. It's 7-5 in favor of Kemmerer. It's dug out in the back. Brunski will set it up. And then popped over by Gregory. Good job by GREYBULL to stay with it. Again, trying to dig it out is Brunski, but it goes back. And it's out of bounds. That's a point for GREYBULL. The fans supporting their team, and they've pulled to within one, 7-6. Lady Rangers still leading. Served over. McLaren puts it up. Brunski back. And it's just sent over by Pollard. Now it'll be set up by GREYBULL. Good communication. And they'll just hit it over. Now Kemmerer will set it up. Pollard right back far side. And it's tapped down and it hits off the net and goes through. Bailey Maggie gets the kill. And the Rangers reclaim that 2-point lead. It's 8-6 early. It's a new thing for the Rangers. They've been behind in both their opening games in their previous two matches, but they lead in this first game against GREYBULL. Nice dig underneath as Afton goes down to scoop, but it's not enough. As the Lady Rangers get the point, it's 9-6. Abby Brunski will be back, and she'll serve this next ball up. The libero sending it forward. Popped straight in the air by DeRosa. And then up in the air for Fink. They get it over. Brunski is there. Now set up McLaren. And a miss hit on Shea Durfee. So a point for the Lady Rangers, and they lead 10-6. Strong play from the Lady Rangers in this third match, coming back after a tough loss to the Lovell Lady Bulldogs. DeRosa in the back keeps it alive. Shea Durfee will send it over. Good play from GREYBULL to keep it alive. Now Kemmerer, near side, just tapped over. Popped up, though, by Kelso. They'll go back to Kelso far side. She tries to tip it over, and it looked like that was Bailey Maggie who ended up hitting the net. So a point for GREYBULL. A 10-7 lead, though, still for Kemmerer as they've led the entire way. Service put in play. Pollard puts it up. McLaren serves it over, and it's just too far behind the red line. This is the closest that GREYBULL has gotten within 2 points. We'll see if the Rangers can extend that lead. Pollard straight up. McLaren wants to go down the middle. It's knocked away. Oh, GREYBULL, great hustle, and they get it over. Great dig by the Bulls, and a block up front. And you got to appreciate that, the hustle by GREYBULL to keep that alive. Their coach, Sarah Slatman, applauding their team. And we've got a 1-point game. It's 10-9. Service sent across, popped up in the air by Kroll. See how the Rangers answer, and it goes into the net. Hannah Nielsen just didn't quite get over that. Coach Peterson looking at her, giving her some instruction, and we're tied at 10. Popped straight up in the air. Brunski now to Kroll. It'll just be tapped over by McLaren. They'll reset on defense. Will Kemmerer. Popped up, partially blocked, kept alive. Kroll goes sprawling to the floor, but can't come up with it. And GREYBULL has their first lead, 11-10. That serve into the net, though, and that'll stop the rally for the Lady Buffs, and we're tied back at 11. A good match. Again, the winner of this match will have the second seed going into tomorrow. Loser will have the third seed. Both teams, regardless, will get the early game at 8:30. First and fourth seeds will play at 9:30. Serve goes straight up in the air and goes to Brunski. And now McLaren wants to send it over, but she hits it straight into the net. A couple of mistakes from Kemmerer. They started off hot and cooled off a little bit. And the lead goes back to the Lady Buffs. It's 12-11. That serve sent across. Good job keeping it alive. Oh, not quite. Lexi Julian tried to save that ball before it hit the net. And she was unable to do it without hitting the net herself. So another point. And GREYBULL back. He now has a 2-point lead. That ball is going to go sprawling into the Kemmerer bench, and a good call by Coach Peterson. He's sensing momentum changing, so he's going to take a timeout, and so will we. We're going to come back here in this opening game of the finals match for the Kemmerer Lady Rangers on this Friday evening. They now trail the GREYBULL Lady Buffs 14-11. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on mylocalradio.net.
First impressions matter. When you want to stand out, uniquely brand your business, organization, or team with help from Old West Design inside My Favorite Things at 164 Front Street. Create a professional image with uniforms, golf shirts, t-shirts, hoodies, decals, keychains, koozies, coffee mugs, and more. Manager Natalie Willie Lively and Old West Design help winners dress for success. Inside My Favorite Things, Old West Design, 164 Front Street, Evanston.
Back to live action for the Kemmerer Lady Rangers, and a good start out of the timeout as Coach Peterson settled down his team, recognized that they just needed some motivation, and they come out with the point right out of the timeout. McLaren will serve it up. Good serve, but a better dig down there by Brittany Fink. They get it across, and it's too far. Back-to-back points for the Lady Rangers. And it's now 14-13. McLaren sends it up. And it's popped up in front of the net. Going down is McLaren to get it. They'll come near side for Krall. She taps it over. Beautiful play. She sent it right over the top of the two blockers. They were expecting a big hit, and she just poked it over the top. Slipped it right inside the right sideline. And 3 straight points by the Lady Rangers. We're tied at 14. McLaren again to serve. Pops this one up. Picked up by Fink. Now set up on that far side. Good dig on the baseline by Brunski. Now the two Lady Rangers, they do get it across. They'll reset on defense. Right up the middle, partially blocked. Brunski there to get it. Tapped around, and it comes to Brunski. And the Lady Rangers claiming that GREYBULL was over the net, but they're not going to get the call. And it'll be GREYBULL point, and they'll retake the lead 15-14. Really good back and forth match. Back and forth first game. Rangers, a good dig out there by Stevens to keep it alive. Brunski skies it in the air, and then just a miss hit right there by Julian. She knew it right as she hit it, as it just went off the end of her hand. Another point for GREYBULL, and they lead 16-14. Sent over the top and popped up by Krall. They'll go back to Krall far side, and that time she tried to slam it home, but it got blocked. Looked like she may not have gotten it above the net either. And GREYBULL answering the little 3-0 run of the Rangers with a 3-0 run of their own. They lead 17-14 to the Lady Buffs. That hits the top of the night. Good job by McLaren to go down and get it, but then right back at McLaren. She had no opportunity to really react. And another timeout taken by Coach Peterson, trying to settle down his girls and see if they can come back. We'll come back in just a second. Lady Rangers trailing 18-14. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on mylocalradio.net.
Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for quality, affordable higher education in southwestern Wyoming and the Rocky Mountain West. Western offers more than 60 associate's degrees and 26 certificate programs in business, health science, humanities, math, engineering and science, visual and performing arts, and technology and industry. Wherever you are and whatever your goal, Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for education that makes a difference. Because we are where you are.
Back live inside Lovell Varsity High School in the middle of a point, and a diving, sprawling effort goes for naught for Lovell as they tried and come up with a terrific play, but the Rangers, again, getting out of the timeout from Coach Peterson and coming up with a huge point to keep them in it. They trail 18-15. Sent across to Kelso, and she'll serve it up before it's knocked over. And now McIntosh, and that goes below the net. Looked like a bit of a miss hit from Hannah Nielsen, obviously, and Another point for Greybull as they're closing in on this first game. Going to take a tough comeback from the Lady Rangers if they want to win their first game of the night. They are 0 for 2 in first games in these first two matches. Sent over by Brunski and off the arms of Afton DeRosa. She just couldn't quite come up with it. And the Rangers now will get the serve back, trailing by 3, 16-19. Not out of it yet. Let's see if they can get some momentum going. It'll be Rexana Kelly back to serve. The lefties comes up, lofts it to the back row. Kelso there. They'll go far side, partially blocked. Brunski is there. Now the Lady Rangers will set it up. They'll go over, and it's blocked. Kroll had it blocked, and it falls back behind Brunski. Greybull has done a nice job on Kroll tonight. She's able to tip it over earlier, but she's been rejected a couple of times, and she usually has the power, but you got to give credit to Greybull up front. They've done a nice job. 20-16 the score. Brunski in the back digs it up. Set up from Pollard. They go cross court. Kroll tries that time, and she's unsuccessful. That time too far. That time she was able to get it over the block, but just missed the back corner, and it's now 21-16 in favor of the Lady Buffs. Jessica Dowling sends it up. A high arcing dig that goes up. Set up for Gregory, and it's down. Point for the Lady Rangers. Hanging in tough in this first game. Trailing 21-17. Michaela Kroll back to serve for Kemmerer. Comes up and hits it over the top. Picked up by DeRosa. They go far side. And it looked like Kemmerer touched the net. And they did, so that'll be a point for Greybull. 22-17 the score. Substitution as out comes Mackenzie Bolig. In comes Brittany Fink for Greybull. They lead by 5, 22-17, and into the net. Fink just can't get it over. And the Rangers still hanging in this first game. They trail 22-18. Brunski comes up. We'll come back over to her. She sets it up. Pollard. And to the near side. It's sent over by Nielsen. Nielsen looked like she reached over the net. Now they're going to give the point. They say Greybull came over the net, and the score 22-19. Kemmerer trying to go on a run here to make a little comeback in this first game. Popped up for Durfee. Sent over. And now in the middle, McLaren sends it down. And another point for the Lady Rangers. Couple of mistakes by Greybull. And the Rangers are right back in it. A close finish. Got to win by 2. First one to 25. Lady Rangers trailing 22-20. Brunski serves it across. Greybull sets it up. They'll tap it over. Kemmerer is there. And sent over by McLaren. Good job by DeRosa, though. Now back to Brunski. See if the Rangers can take advantage. A little bit of a miss hit on the set. Now Greybull scrambling. And they can't get it over the net, and the Rangers are within a point, and we'll get a timeout called by Sarah Schlappman as she's sensing a change in momentum, and she's right. Coach Peterson talking to his ladies. They trail 22-21. We're going to have a fun finish in this opening game. When we come back, you're listening to KEMMERER Volleyball on mylocalradio.net.
MyLocalRadio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's top website and the best source for local area news, weather, sports, and community events. And that's not all. MyLocalRadio.com features thousands of photographs of Wyoming and Utah high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events, sports and activities, and much more. Check it out today and see what MyLocalRadio.com has for you.
Back to live play, and the Rangers just missed a shot too long. And the point goes to GREYBULL, so they lead 23-21 as we close in on this first game. Dug out in the back by Krall. It'll be set up near side. And it's popped up in the back for Kober. Then tapped across. It was partially blocked, so it stays alive. Krall up front to Pollard. And now McLaren tapped around. McLaren will send it back. And it looked like she may have popped her hand on the net. And the point will go. No, check that. They will give it to the Rangers. So the Rangers get the point, and they pull back to within one. 23-22. Lady Rangers trailing. First to 25. Adam Jackson live here on mylocalradio.net. It's popped up to Kelso. Good dig by Krall. Kept alive. Pollard to McLaren. She taps it, but it can't quite get it over. It looked like it was partially blocked up front. And now game point for GREYBULL. They'll have a couple of chances at it, leading 24-22. Let's see what Kemmerer can do. Kemmerer needing a side out to get the ball back. There it's popped up. They'll go near side, and it's down for a point. Hannah Nielsen putting it through for the kill. And the Lady Rangers have pulled to within one, 24-23. Coach Peterson getting a chuckle over there after the celebration from his team. Sent across, and it's kept alive. Great work by GREYBULL. Now it'll be set up for Kemmerer. Nielsen once again, and this time it goes into the net. And unfortunately, that's going to do it for the opening game. It'll go to the Lady Buffs. A hard-fought game, back and forth between these two teams. And GREYBULL takes the first of this three-game set. We'll see if the Lady Rangers can come back and force a third game. They trail 1-0 after losing 25-23. We'll be back after a couple of breaks. Right here, you're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on mylocalradio.net.
MyLocalRadio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's top website and the best source for local area news, weather, sports, and community events. And that's not all. MyLocalRadio.com features thousands of photographs of Wyoming and Utah high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events, sports and activities, and much more. Check it out today and see what MyLocalRadio.com has for you.
There's an organization in southeast Idaho whose wildlife conservation efforts have been commended by the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, the Idaho Fish and Wildlife Foundation, and the North American Moose Foundation. Who is this organization? It's Monsanto. While Monsanto is honored by the recognition they receive, their ongoing dedication to the environment is its own reward for all of us. Monsanto. Imagine.
Welcome back to the North Bighorn County Volleyball Tournament at Lovell Varsity High School. Your Lady Rangers dropping the first game 25-23 to GREYBULL. But we'll see if they can come back and get some momentum going and maybe take the next two games. This is the final match of the night. If GREYBULL holds on to win, they'll be the second seed in Pool A, which means your Lady Rangers would be third. Before we get this second set underway, just want to give a shout out once again to Horseshoe Bend Motel. Joe and Joanne Anderson on 375 East Main Street in downtown Lovell. Very friendly people. They allow pets over at the motel. Non-smoking, and they've got a beautiful gazebo. They'd love for you to give them a call and spend the night over there at Horseshoe Bend Motel. 800-548-2850 is the number. Again, 800-548-2850. And that's Joe and Joanne Anderson at the Horseshoe Bend Motel on 375 East Main Street right here in downtown Lovell. So 1-0 in the games department in favor of the Lady Buffs, winning 25-23. A really intriguing match. in that first game. Back and forth between these two teams. Two head coaches, Blake Peterson for your Kemmerer Rangers in his 5th year. Over for the Lady Buffs, Sarah Schlattman is in her 2nd year. And we are underway in game number 2. Ball is up in the air on that far side. Good dig, but it's going to drop for the Lady Rangers. Really good effort all over the floor. GREYBULL, they do a nice job of laying out and keeping those tough plays alive. At that time, the Lady Rangers shot just a little bit too good. It's 1-0 in favor of Kemmerer. Long shot that's hit to the deep back row. Sent over, and it's through for a point. 2-0. Rexana Kelly, the lefty. Just a quick hit over the net and surprised GREYBULL. And just like the first game, Kemmerer off to a quick start. And that one, unfortunately, goes into the net. Lexi Julian unable to prop it over, and the score 2-1. Substitutions coming in, checking in for GREYBULL as Mackenzie Bolig. That's back to McLaren. Now up front, it's partially deflected. GREYBULL keeps it alive, and that goes into the net off the lefty's arm. Kelly unable to send it over, and we're tied at 2. 2-2 the score between GREYBULL and Kemmerer. Final match of tonight at varsity level high school. That's sent across by McLaren, dug up by DeRosa in the back. Now it's popped up over by Dowling, and it drops for a point. And it'll be given to the Lady Rangers, so they take the lead back 3-2. Morgan McLaren set to serve. McLaren runs up right at DeRosa. She pops it up in the air. Down that far side. And just tapped over. Good play though, and it drops through. Second time tonight, Michaela Krall has been tricky and just popped it over the 2 blockers. She usually utilizes her power, but she's been smart and just popping it over the top. That's worked for her. McLaren down that far sideline. It's dug up over there by Kelso. Popped up. McLaren will set it. Now over to Pollard. Tipped up, and Nielsen has it blocked. Diving effort made by Lexi Julian, but it hit the floor first. And that's a point for the Buffs. Kemmerer leading 4-3, trying to force a decisive game 3. And that one goes over the head of Michaela Krall. That one may have gone out of bounds. It was right on the edge. It's always a tough play. You got to make a quick decision. And Krall unable to come up with it. We're tied at 4. Popped up by McLaren. She'll set it up for Pollard, who just sets it over the net. Now GREYBULL. GREYBULL sends it across, and it's too long. Lady Rangers get the point. And they retake the lead 5-4. Expecting another tight game. We saw an opening tight game, 25-23. Kemmerer lost that opening game, but hoping to come back in this second game. DeRosa pops it up, and it hits too far in the back. Kelso trying to chase it down, but she was unable to get there, and Kemmerer rebuilding their lead. It's 6-4. Nielsen runs up. Down to get that is Bolig, but she's unable to get it up to her teammate, and it's 7-4. Lady Rangers in front. Nielsen once again will serve from the back. Runs up from the middle and loops it over that far sideline, but it's too far out of bounds. It's picked up by Sarah Schlattman over there, the second-year coach for GREYBULL. Really love both coaches. Really all the coaches today have really done a nice job of staying positive. That's important in a game like volleyball. Lady Rangers get it across. Brunski. And now they'll set up, and it's blocked up front. But they're giving the point over to GREYBULL. Looked like the net was touched by Roxana Kelly. 8-5 the score. Kemmerer leading. They led most of the way in that first set, but it was the Lady Buffs that came out on top. And the ball's hit to the near side. GREYBULL will set it, and way too far. Was it partially deflected? No, it wasn't. Lady Rangers get the point. A 4-point lead. Trying to force that third set and move to 2-1 on the day in their matches. Kemmerer trying to come back. That's set over far side. Good job by Krall as she ranged to her left. They'll set it back up for Krall. She just pops it over. Durfee keeps it alive. And now just sent over by Stevens. Right down the middle. And the net was hit. That'll give the point to GREYBULL. Actually, that'll give the point to the Lady Rangers. Looked like GREYBULL was going to pick up that point, but Lady Rangers get it, and the score 10-5. Kelly sends it across. And now the set near side, partially blocked. Kelly gets there, and Kemmerer kept it alive, but you only get 3 hits on your side, and unfortunately, Lady Rangers ran out there. 10-6 is the score. Game 1 went to the GREYBULL Lady Buffs. Fink sends it across, and it's too far. Good job by the back row, both Abby Brunsky and Morgan McLaren making sure that they stayed away from that ball. And the Rangers' lead is back to 5. Krall ready from the back. She'll run up from the middle. Jets it over the top. It's off the left arm. GREYBULL just going to have to send it over. Be picked up by Pollard in the back. Sent across by McGee. Now GREYBULL tapping it over. Again, saved by Pollard. Just sent over by McGee. And into the net. Off the right arm of Dasha Kelso. And the Lady Rangers playing well. They lead 12-6. Krall sends it across. Really nice serve. Kept it close, but a good play by DeRosa to keep it alive. Krall sets up right down the middle, and it's blocked. Actually got hit into the net. Looked like Grace Gregory couldn't quite get that. Maybe a little bit intimidated by the 2 blockers, and the ball was a little bit low as well, so the point goes over to the Lady Buffs. 12-7. That gets over. Good job, McLaren keeps it up and blocks right back at the Lady Rangers. Couple of points for the Lady Buffs, and they're back to within 4. Third and final match of the night for your Kemmerer Lady Rangers. You're listening live on mylocalradio.net. I'm Adam Jackson. Warren Cook to my left working the camera. We'll be back again tomorrow for 3 more matches. Kemmerer trails in this match 1-0. They lost 25-23. That one too long. They're hanging on though in this second game, trying to force that decisive third game. They lead 13-8. Brunsky runs up on it, sent back over by McLaren. Now tapped over by Stevens. McLaren will pop it over. Stevens is there. Tapped across. What a shot right there by Dasha Kelso. Just snuck it in the right sideline. Really have to appreciate that. She placed it perfectly. And pulls the GREYBULL Lady Buffs to within 4. Brunsky sends it up, and Pollard will send it over. Lady Buffs will set it up. They go cross court. And off the hands of Michaela Krall. Back-to-back points. And it's now 13-10. Kemmerer still leading in this second game. Trailing in the match 1-0. Sent over, and that goes off the end of the hands, but it's saved by Pollard. Oh, just not able to get it over was Maggie. Rangers were able to get it over, but that took 4 hits. So another point, and it's 13-11. And that goes past Brunski, a rare miss. 5 straight points for the Lady Buffs, and they're right back in it. A 1-point lead for Kemmerer. When we come back, Lady Rangers in front 13-12. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on mylocalradio.net.
Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for quality, affordable higher education in southwestern Wyoming and the Rocky Mountain West. Western offers more than 60 associate's degrees and 26 certificate programs in business, health science, humanities, math, engineering and science, visual and performing arts, and technology and industry. Wherever you are and whatever your goal, Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for education that makes a difference, because we are where you are.
And we welcome you back live at Lovell Varsity High School. Kemmerer Rangers leading 14-12. They picked up the point right out of the timeout. That's been something that Coach Peterson really good at, is calling the timeouts when Kemmerer needs them, and then they respond, leading by 2. That ball drops in the back shot, just inside the back line. Good hit by Brittany Fink, wearing number 3 for the GREYBULL Lady Bulls. They trail 14-13. Dasha Kelso getting set to serve. GREYBULL wearing the all-blue uniforms with the white striping and gold numbering. That ball popped off the top of the net, and it'll belong, the point will, to GREYBULL, and they've tied the score. Similar to what we saw in the first game, Kemmerer led most of the way, and then GREYBULL had a late surge. They're surging again now as we're tied. And that goes into the net. Abby Brunski unable to get it across. GREYBULL leading 15-14. Serve coming from Kelso. And that goes into the net. A big point for Kemmerer as the score is tied. Morgan McLaren getting set to serve it across. McLaren runs up, jumps it over. It's hit up in the air by Kelso. They'll set it up on that far side. Just tapped up the near sideline. Picked up by Julian. And tapped over, just missing wide. A good effort. No, the point does go to Kemmerer. So the Lady Rangers get the point. Looked like maybe GREYBULL touched the net. And the lead 16-15. McLaren sends it across. Pops straight up in the air. It'll be set up near sideline. Partially blocked, but it'll drop down. Mackenzie Bolig has been solid over on the near sideline, and she gets the point. And we're tied at 16. Again, I told you we most likely would have a close game in the second, as we did in the first. 25-23. GREYBULL won the first game. Kemmerer trying to win the second. Krall saves it on the far sideline. Up for Brunski and just tapped across by Nielsen. That ball tapped over. McLaren steps in. Now set far side. Krall runs up. She'll tap it over. What a dig on that far sideline. And a good effort again by GREYBULL. The dig over there on Krall was pretty fantastic, but GREYBULL unable to recover, and a good point for the Lady Rangers. They lead 17-16. Trying to force that decisive game 3. And that serve goes too long off the right arm of Nielsen. She'll sub out. Abby Brunski will check in. We're tied at 17. Ball goes across. Kroll picks it up. Set. And too far. And the point. Nope, we do have a deflection though, and that'll be given to Kemmerer. So off the deflection, Kemmerer gets the point, and they lead again 18-17. Substitutions coming in for the Lady Buffs. Ball goes just short as Roxana Kelly was unable to get it across, and we'll get a substitution. Kelly will come out. Holland Pollard will check in. She's been big in setting up for the kills today for the Lady Rangers. Brunski also has been big in the back. That ball tapped down, and the point is given to GREYBULL. Tied at 18. First one of 25 wins, you got to win by 2. GREYBULL winning the first game 25-23. Kept alive and tapped over. Nice job by Grace Gregory to use her length. She's 5'9", and she got up in front and just poked that over, and it was enough. GREYBULL fighting hard, but Kemmerer staying in front. They lead 19-18. And the officials checking the score over there. Want to make sure they have it right. Right now the scoreboard says 19-18 in favor of your Kemmerer Lady Rangers. Both coaches, Blake Peterson and Sarah Schlottman, over there talking with the officials. And it's actually 19-19. So a missed point. And we're tied at 19, so now the serve coming from Michaela Krall. And it hits the bottom, or hits the top of the net. And the lead just like that over to GREYBULL, 20-19. Jordan Flittner will serve it across. Down to get it is Brunski. Partially blocked and right back to Pollard. She can't handle it. And a 2-point lead for GREYBULL as they're closing in. And a good timeout called by Coach Peterson to settle down his ladies. They're going to need a surge late. They trail 21-19, but it's been, again, back and forth. Come back with us for the fun finish. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on mylocalradio.net.
mylocalradio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's top website and the best source for local area news, weather, sports, and community events. And that's not all. mylocalradio.com features thousands of photographs of Wyoming and Utah high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events, sports and activities, and much more. Check it out today and see what mylocalradio.com has for you.
And we come back, and a point for the Lady Rangers to close to within 1. Trying to force that game 3. They trail 21-20 and 1-0 in the match. Running up is Brunski. She'll send it across. Blocked right back. Wow, what a powerful block by Brett Stevens. Really nice play by Stevens. Unfortunate for the Lady Rangers. 22-20 is your score. GREYBULL in front. Stevens will serve it across and hit up, and Brunski serves it over. Picked up by DeRosa. DeRosa goes to the near side to give it to Kelso. Gets it over. It hit at the net. And the point goes, it looks like, to the Lady Rangers. Tough to kind of see from our angle who's hitting the net. But the Lady Rangers get the point, and they're still in this, trailing 22-21. Ball goes to the back row. It'll be scooped up by DeRosa. And the point goes to the Kemmerer Rangers. A double hit and a timeout now called by second-year head coach Sarah Schlottman. We're tied at 22. Going to be a fun finish. We'll take one more break as we come back. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on mylocalradio.net.
Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for quality, affordable higher education in southwestern Wyoming and the Rocky Mountain West. Western offers more than 60 associate's degrees and 26 certificate programs in business, health science, humanities, math, engineering and science, visual and performing arts, and technology and industry. Wherever you are and whatever your goal, Western Wyoming Community College is your choice for education that makes a difference, because we are where you are.
And we're back. A big point for Kemmerer as they retake the lead 23-22. Now serving for the Lady Rangers, Lexi Julian, is Kemmerer again trying to force that game 3. Popped up, Rangers get it down. And now just set across, Brunsky has it. Lady Rangers will set it up. McLaren sends it deep. The deflection though, and the Lady Rangers get the point. And they now are a point away from taking this second game, and a timeout called. And we will keep it here. 24-22. Again, this will give us time to thank Horseshoe Bend Motel and give them a shout out again. They're located on 375 East Main Street, and they were kind enough to give us a couple of rooms that we certainly appreciated. So Joe and Joanne Anderson, make sure you give them a call, 800-548-2850. Very friendly people. They allow pets over there. Non-smoking place and a beautiful gazebo. That's over at Horseshoe Bend Motel. Kemmerer Rangers trying to finish off this second game. They lead 24-22. Here comes the serve. Goes across, taken by DeRosa. It'll be sent up. Just tapped over, kept alive by the Rangers. They'll just send it across. Cross court. And scooped up by Brunsky. Far wing, Nielsen, and it doesn't quite get over the net. A point for the GREYBULL Lady Buffs, who still trail 24-23. Another game point opportunity for Kemmerer. And that is too long, and the Lady Rangers get the point. And 25-23 is the final score for Game 2. So let's play one more. Game 1 goes to GREYBULL 25-23. Game 2 goes to Kemmerer 25-23. And we'll play a final game to 15. And we'll do that when we come back. Winner will get the second seed in tomorrow's tournament. Loser will get the third seed. And the winner will get their second win match-wise on this Friday night. We're going to find out who that's going to be when we come back. The Kemmerer Lady Rangers trying to pull out this final third match of the day. We'll see if they do it. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on mylocalradio.net. Game 3 set to take place between your Lady Rangers and the Lady Buffs, and we are underway. Nielsen, a quick shot, but it's short as it hits the middle of the net. And an early 1-0 lead for GREYBULL. Lady Rangers won their first match in 3 sets. See if they can do it again here. Nielsen trying to save it over there. She does. What a play by Nielsen to get it over. Now sent back over by DeRosa. Lady Rangers will set it up. Back to Nielsen. Far side. Partially blocked. And it drops in for a KEMMERER point. First point of this third game. This third and final set between these two. Second seed on the line. Running up. And that one goes into the net. So 2-1 the score. Lovell has wrapped up the first seed. They went undefeated today, defeating Matitsi, KEMMERER, and GREYBULL. Matitsi wasn't able to pick up a win today. They'll be your 4th seed. This is popped up over the net. Kept up by DeRosa on that far side. And a miss hit over there by Jessica Dowling. And a point for the Lady Rangers as we're tied at 2. KEMMERER and GREYBULL battling for the 2nd and 3rd position. Both teams will play at 8:30 tomorrow morning. DeRosa pops that up, but it goes back and out of play, and the Lady Rangers celebrate. They lead 3-2. They've led early in both sets, but GREYBULL has been a force at the back end of the sets to keep it close, and that ace just goes wide. Otherwise, it would have been a point for Nielsen and the Lady Rangers. Tied at 3. Wouldn't be surprised if this game goes down to the final couple of volleys. Crawl on that far side. It's popped up, kept alive by GREYBULL. Just tapped over. Good slide there to keep it up and poked over by Kelly. Sent back across by Bullock. They'll go far side to Crawl. Crawl too far, no deflection. And the point is given to GREYBULL. Lady Buffs taking their first lead of this third set. Third and final set. First one to 15 wins. Got to win by 2. Set up in the middle. Oh, a good dig in the back. DeRosa keeps it alive. GREYBULL gets it over. No, they don't. It hits the middle of the net. Dasha Kelso had to try and whack it all the way across the floor and was unable to do so. We're tied at 4. Roxana Kelly to serve with the left hand. Pops up. Lady Buffs get it over. Coming up to make the play is Brunsky. Far side for Crawl. Crawl is good. It's deflected and drops in for a point. 5-4. Lady Rangers back in front. Decisive game 3. Trying to win their second match of the 2014 season. Ball is popped up. Set. And it drops in. Misplay there. And KEMMERER leading 6-4. Mackenzie Bullock ready, and she'll fire it not quite over the net. Comes right back to her, and she's disappointed with herself. Just couldn't quite get it over. And she'll come out. In comes Holland Pollard. KEMMERER leading 6-5. Dowling sends it over, and a little bit of a miss hit. Abby Brunsky, it took a funny bounce on her. She's putting her arms up, not sure what happened, but it looked like it got her in the shoulder. She may have just misjudged it. And the score 6-6. Dowling hits it over, and it's too far. Good eye by Brunski in the back to let it go. Rangers back in front, 7-6. Substitution for GREYBULL. Jessica Dowling comes out. In comes Shea Durfee. Hit back right at Kelso. Kept alive and sent over. Pollard will set it up. Goes far side. Blocked in front. Popped up, now GREYBULL. They'll send it over, partially blocked. Brunski keeps it alive with the palm of her hand. And no, it looks like they say she didn't keep it alive. And the point is given over to GREYBULL, and we're tied at 7 once again. A lot of ties, a lot of lead changes in all 3 of these sets. Both sets decided by 2 points. Popped up in the air. Pollard will go far side. McLaren partially deflected, and McLaren gets the kill. And the Lady Rangers now in front, 8-7, halfway home. It's a young team that Coach Peterson has been proud of how they've played today. They lost 5 seniors off last year's team. Far side, and it's popped up to Brunski. And Pollard just couldn't quite fight it in the net. Tried to do what she could, but it was too far in front, and we're tied at 8. Neither team separating themselves yet. Just an old-fashioned back-and-forth volleyball match. Down is Crawl to get it. Pollard will set it up, and McLaren just mistimed her jump. And that one goes behind her. And GREYBULL in front, 9-8. Ball is hit to Crawl. Crawl, and now over to Nielsen. She pops it over. It's kept alive by Durfee. Near side and just set over and right in front of Pollard. Good play by Dasha Kelso to get it to drop. It's a 2-point lead. And Coach Peterson wants a timeout. That's as big as the lead has been either side for Kemmerer or for GREYBULL. We'll take a quick timeout and come back for the finish. Lady Buffs leading the Lady Rangers 10-8 in the decisive 3rd game in this final match of the night at Lovell Varsity High School. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on mylocalradio.net. And we're back. The Lady Rangers get a much-needed point. It's 10-9. Get it out of the timeout. Subs coming in for Kemmerer. Lexi Julian in for the Lady Rangers. First one to 15 wins. Gotta win by 2. Julian sends it over. Popped up and hit over, but the net infraction is called on McLaren, and it's an 11-9 lead. So Stevens serving, gets it over. It's set up and looked like it was misplayed once again by McLaren, and now it's 12-9. Couple of mistakes by the Lady Rangers. Let's see if they can bounce back though, and a good timeout by Peterson. He looks over at McLaren and says, hey, let's shake it off. Still a lot left to be played. 12-9 is the score. Kemmerer trying to win this 3rd game and win their 2nd match of the day. We'll give you a recap of what has happened today. The Rangers got off to a good start. They won their first match against Matitsi, 25-20, 15-6. They lost the opening game 21-25. They then struggled against Lovell, and that's because Lovell is such a good team. Kemmerer losing in straight sets, 25-13 and 25-13. And now today, in this final match, They lost the first set 25-23, but won the second match 25-23. Now trail 12-9. Ball is across. Set up right in the front and tapped home, and the point goes to Kemmerer. 12-10 the score. Serve is for McLaren. Big point upcoming. Ball gets over. Jessica Dowling handles it. Sent across. Good diving. Stop by Brunsky. Now McLaren has it blocked. It's still got over by the Rangers. Good job to fight it across. Tapped down. And it falls as it trickles around the net. 13-10. Kemmerer trailing. And the GREYBULL Lady Buffs trying to close in on a match win. See if Kemmerer can come back from it though. Brunsky up in the air. Right down the middle. And a point for the Rangers. It was hit right at Brett Stevens. She couldn't react in time. And Kemmerer hoping to go on a little bit of a rally here. They're going to lean on Hannah Nielsen to get it over. Nielsen runs up, sends it across. Stepping in is DeRosa to make the play. And just tapped away. It's blocked though by the Lady Rangers. And they pulled it within a point. 13-12 the score. 2 straight points. Lady Rangers trailing by just 1. And a timeout called by Sarah Slotman. We'll take one final timeout before we come back for the finish. Kemmerer trailing 13-12 on mylocalradio.net.
For you.
And a missed serve by the Lady Rangers. And it now has become match point, 14-12. Lady Rangers need a side out. It's hit up in the air. They'll go to the libero, Brunsky. She gets it across. Now sent across and too long. And the Lady Rangers still alive, trailing 14-13. And it's going to be another 2-point game. Who wants it more? Who's going to come through? 25-23 for both of the first games. 14-13, GREYBULL in front. Serve comes across from the lefty. It's set up now on that far side, just tapped over. Coming over and now far side they go, and it's deflected for a point for the Lady Rangers. And a point ties the score at 14. That's Michaela Kroll who comes up with the point. And we are tied at 14. Served across by Kelly. Now GREYBULL. And it's deflected. And the Rangers just 1 point away. 15-14 and a timeout called by Coach Schlotman. 3 straight points for the Lady Rangers. And now just 1 point away from stealing this match when it looked like GREYBULL had the lead. And they had 2 opportunities to come up with the match. But give Kemmerer credit, they fought with it. And now they put themselves in a chance to win. Roxana Kelly will serve. Lady Rangers trying to finish off their first night of the 2014 season on a positive note. They won their first match, lost their second, trying to win their third. Here's the match point. Kelly sends it across. It's popped up on that far sideline, and it'll just be sent over. Rangers can set this up. Kelly sets far side, Kroll, and it's into the net. She just couldn't quite get it over the net. And we're tied at 15. Let's play some extra volleyball. Gotta win by 2. Final set. Dowling back to serve for GREYBULL. She'll send it over. There it's sent up by Brunsky. Far side, it's deflected, but there is DeRosa. That's tapped across. It doesn't get over, though, and the point goes to the Lady Rangers. And once again, Kemmerer with an opportunity to win this match, and they've got one of their best servers back there in Michaela Krall. 16-15, Kemmerer. Krall ready, she'll run up. And that's through. Set for the near side. Deflected, kept alive though by the Rangers. They'll set it up. McLaren gets it across. Now the Rangers set up defensively. Ball comes across, it's hit up by Brunsky. Set, far side, McLaren just wants to tap it over. Good defense though. And now we'll go back to GREYBULL. GREYBULL taps it across, and it's off the fingertips of Krall. It took a deflection. And a crazy, crazy finish. This game keeps going. 16-16. Listening and watching live on mylocalradio.net. I'm Adam Jackson. Warren Cook to my left, working the camera. Serve comes across right to Brunsky. She pops it right up in the air for Pollard. Far side. McLaren puts it down. And again, third straight opportunity for the Kemmerer Rangers to come up with this match. Can they pull it out? 17-16. GREYBULL has fought tough, and they're staying in it. Brunsky sends it across. The ball comes back. Kemmerer now can set it up. Pollard, far side. And it drops in for the final point on the line. What a fantastic finish for the Kemmerer Lady Rangers as they pull it out 18-16. The final as the Lady Rangers do indeed get that second match win. We're going to come back and wrap up the Lady Ranger postgame show, a victorious postgame show. We're also going to talk eventually with head coach Blake Peterson as he'll come up hopefully to join us, as he's got to be ecstatic with how his team finishes tonight. They will be the second seed tomorrow. They'll play at 8:30. A lot to talk about when we come back. Lady Rangers victorious 18-16 in their final set, and victorious in their final match against GREYBULL as they win 25-23 and 18-16 after losing the opening set. Come on back with us as we'll talk in the postgame show. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on iLocalRadio.net. And we're back to Lovell Varsity High School. Thank you so much for joining us. What a fantastic finish between the KEMMERER Rangers and the GREYBULL Lady Buffs. It is your Lady Rangers that come out in top, and Coach Blake Peterson going to join us soon enough to talk about what a fantastic game that was and what a fantastic match. The final 18-16 in the game, and the Rangers, they dropped the first game 23-25, but then win 25-23 and 18-16 to finish today 2-1. They are your second seed, and they will be playing tomorrow at 8:30. We'll have to figure out who they are playing against, but they will be playing, it looks like, against Wind River, and that's going to be tomorrow at 8:30. And again, what a finish. KEMMERER, they showed a lot of fight. Tough loss today against Lovell, but that didn't stop them as they came back and finished strong. So we're going to take one more break, and when we come back, we're going to talk with the head coach, Blake Peterson, on what hopefully will be a fun interview, as Blake should be pretty excited about how well his team fought today. You're listening to KEMMERER Volleyball on mylocalradio.net.
First impressions matter.
And welcome back to the Lady Ranger post-game show. A successful day, at least at the end, as the Lady Rangers pull off what a fantastic victory. GREYBULL, as they beat them 25-23 and 18-16 in the final two games, and now joined by the head volleyball coach at KEMMERER, Blake Peterson. And Coach, before we talk about the other games, let's talk about that final game. How about the determination and really the grit for your girls to stay in it? They were down, they were up, it was back and forth, not only in that final game, but in all the games, and they somehow find a way to win.
Yeah, it was pretty fun for those girls. You know, at this stage of the season, you know, early it's preseason, so basically, I'm really concerned with the girls. I'm telling them this. I'm more concerned about the process and the results. It's fun to win. I mean, that's what we're working for. But I'm concerned about the process. And we talked with them about being competitive every play, no matter what. You know, win, lose, per rally, or if we're ahead or behind, we have to be competitive. And told them to focus on that and focus on doing what we need to do each play. You know, good things will happen. Now, you're right, it was a close game, and had we not come out on top, you know, that would not have invalidated the effort they put out tonight. But I think it shows them if they do focus on each play, that good things will happen. And, you know, it doesn't always happen that way, but tonight it did, and I was proud of the girls.
Had to be exciting for them. I know you said it wouldn't have been determined, you know, if they won or lost that last game, but they had to be pretty pumped up after pulling that one out.
They are, and you know, there's some teams, I told them this in the locker room just a few minutes ago, there's some teams that when it's really close, you know, they might lose 70-80% of the time on really close games, you know, and there's some teams that when it's really close, they win 70-80% of the time, and it's trying to find those qualities that make us one of those teams. You know, I think we're close to that, you know, as far as being mentally tough and being able to finish off games, but win or lose, I told them we have to go down swinging. You know, we can't be playing tentative. We got to go out there, be determined and aggressive, and go for it. So,
we're talking to fifth-year KEMMERER volleyball head coach Blake Peterson, and this was one of 3 matches today. Let's look back at some of the others. You started today with Matitsi. What were your thoughts on the team after that first match win? They lost the first game 21-25, but then came back strong 25-20 and finished off Matitsi 15-6.
Well, I had to keep telling myself to keep things in perspective. It was our first game of the year, but the first game was a little rough. You know, we were able to win, but it was a little rough, and I think the girls just we are a young team, and they had to get some of those worries or those concerns out, you know, on the floor, and We went a quick learning curve even today. They definitely improved as the day went on. I think that first match against Matisse, we missed 8 or 9 serves, and we can't be missing serves like that. But they were nervous, and I think they learned from it. We played much better against Lovell, even though we lost, and we had the same effort against GREYBULL. So I was proud of how they finished it off.
You talked a little bit about Lovell. What were your thoughts? They did drop 2 straight games to Lovell, but I think you and I talked about it, and I noticed as well. Lovell looked very strong. What was your impressions of Lovell and impressions of your team's play in that match?
Well, I think Lovell, they've got they got a few young girls, but they're mostly upperclassmen, and they've been in the system for a few years. They're not necessarily a finished product, but they're a lot closer than we are right now. I think we have a bigger ceiling to go, a big more room to grow as we go on through the season. I think towards the end of the season, we'll be right there where Lovell is right now. So that being said, I was proud with how the girls came out and fought. They were intense the whole game, and I felt like they did compete. They didn't let the scoreboard determine their effort. They were just out there and they're playing one play at a time, and I was proud of that.
Going into tomorrow, I believe you guys are the 2 seed, and we'll be taking on Wind River, if I'm correct, at 8:30. Is that correct, Coach?
I haven't checked yet. I don't know.
Haven't checked. Okay. Well, we'll figure that out. It looks like that's what's going to happen. But as we move on from today's matches, what do you want to see tomorrow improvement-wise? A couple of things maybe you want to improve on after watching the 3 matches today.
I think as we go forward, I think the game speed will slow down for the girls a little bit. I think some of them were a little nervous. We're starting some young girls out there. But I told them they definitely got better today, and I hope that win, lose, or draw, tomorrow, at the end of the day, we will have gotten better. And that's what this tournament's all about for us.
Coach Blake Peterson, have a terrific night, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Hopefully the Kemmerer Rangers can take home 3 wins and head to Kemmerer. Pretty excited with a 5-1 record. That'd be pretty good, wouldn't you think?
That'd be fantastic.
All right, Coach, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Adam.
That is the head coach of your Kemmerer Ranger volleyball team, Blake Peterson. As we wrap up today, we'll take one more break, and when we come back, the final thoughts from me as the Kemmerer Rangers take down the GREYBULL Lady Buffs 23-25, 25-23, and 18-16. You're listening to Kemmerer Volleyball on mylocalradio.net.
Evanston.
And we're back one more time live from Lovell Varsity High School. A good day for the Kemmerer Lady Rangers. They win 2 out of 3. They drop to Matisse, or beat Matisse 2 out of 3 games. Then they drop to Lovell 2 straight games, but then they come back with a fantastic finish in Game 3 and take down the GREYBULL Lady Buffs to finish 2-1 match-wise on the day, and they will be the 2 seed tomorrow. It looks like they're going to be playing against Wind River tomorrow morning at 8:30, and so we expect that to be the deal as the 2 versus the 3 seed. It'll be Pool A against Pool B, so the Lady Rangers trying to come up with another victory tomorrow. They'll play 3 more matches, and we'll see certainly how they do. But that's going to wrap up our broadcast for tonight. Again, we'll be back tomorrow. First game expected to be at 8:30. We'll be on the air at 8:15. That is, again, going to conclude this post-game show. The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of Old West Media Incorporated and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, no portion of which may be used to rebroadcast without the express written consent of the aforementioned rights or the holders. And tomorrow morning, we just finding out from Coach Peterson. Thanks, Coach, as they will play Rocky Mountain, and that is going to be an 8:30 start. So make sure you get here. Once again, our final tonight in this final game, Kemmerer takes down GREYBULL. They lose the first game 23-25, but come back 25-23 and 18-16. Join us again tomorrow, as we're going to be here live at 8:15. First serve will be at 8:30 when the Rangers take on Rocky Mountain. Again, that pregame going to start at 8:15. Special thanks to Val Cook and everybody back at Cook Brothers Broadcasting. Thanks, of course, to my cameraman to my left, Warren Cook. He'll be back with me again tomorrow. I'm Adam Jackson, and I say so long, good night, and goodbye, and we'll see you tomorrow.